Right below me is Parques de los Cerros, meaning Park of the Hills. And beyond, all the way as far as you can see, would be Madrid. There's a number of towns in between. Directly ahead, that hilltop, is Cerro del Viso, which is where I make videos from time to time. It's a wonderful hill climb, and there is a back trail that leads down the wooded section, and I've been on it. This park is riddled with canyons. A couple years ago, I was here and I saw a big buck, a huge buck, running along down here. It's a big guy. So there's all sorts of critters here. This is the very first time I've ridden this bicycle up this hill. Even before I got the new 500-watt motor, the problem wasn't so much the grade as it was the condition of this road. As you can see now, it's all been leveled off. It looks pristine. They've plugged up all the rain ruts and improved the drainage ditches here on the edge. It really looks great. Today's ride is into SANTORCAZ. There's a couple different ways to get there. One is past Santos de la Hermosa, which is another nice climb, but then there's some highway. Going through Parques de los Cerros is the least amount of highway and a lot of farm roads, and judging by the condition of what they've been doing here, it's going to be a good ride. There's a lot of bicycle tracks in the mud, but that's to be expected. Okay, this is the exit. And we're getting onto the farm roads. This gets a little lumpy. The park rangers definitely didn't level it out. So I'll put this on pause for a while. Directly ahead here are the AVE railroad tracks that go to Barcelona. I'm sure it goes to other destinations like Valencia and such, but I know it goes to Barcelona. Generally we drive to Valencia, so I've never taken a train there, but if I do, I'll probably have to try to find a slow train, if they still have them, because they don't like e-bikes on the AVE. It's a it's a concern, a fire concern for them. Generally speaking, most e-bikes are safe enough. The problems are overcharging the battery or using the wrong charger, and that can cause it to ignite. But an idle battery with the power turned off is hardly a problem. Well, generally speaking. At home, I have two batteries, a 15 and a 20 amp, 48 volt. And I keep both of them in steel boxes inside of flame retardant bags. They advertise the bag as it'll prevent the fire from escaping should the battery ignite, but the truth of the matter is that's not the truth. It'll slow it down for a few minutes. The steel box will contain it, but not the fumes. So the box has a good lip on it, and I believe it would contain a fire. Although I've never tested it, but the lithium batteries don't get hot enough to melt steel. Aluminum, yes. The farm roads that I've crossed to get over here are a little beaten up, but nothing too horrible. There's a couple spots with really loose rocks, and last year they were really loose too. I think this is the second time this season I've been on this particular ride. The last time, well, one of the 3 times I went to SANTORCAZ. I came up via Santos de la Hermosa. What impressed me today more than anything so far is I was able to climb that very steep grade out of the park, which typically had been totally trashed and very difficult to traverse because of all the deep rain ruts. I just considered it too dangerous to ride on. So I would walk, even though the grade itself is doable. But now it's pretty well flattened out, beautifully, well, let's say groomed, nicely flattened out. The rain ruts are gone, and it's just awesome. It's a huge change. So I was able to ride up it. At any rate, when I got up to where I started this video, I put my fingers on the motor to see how hot it was, and it was just warm. Not hot at all, just warm. That's very good. You can do almost anything you want to a motor as far as spinning it fast, but when you overheat it, it affects the magnets, it affects the coils and everything else, and it begins to degrade rather quickly. And that's what happened with the Yozis. I ate 2 of those, to be sure. At any rate, I like the motor because it's small and light, but it just doesn't have the power that I need. Maybe if I weighed 50 pounds less or something, it would have been okay. Or if I pedaled 50% harder. But I'm a retiree with rather worn knees. I'm not going to be trying to impress anybody with pedaling too hard anymore. Okay, this is the highway that'll take me to SANTORCAZ. There's a brief stretch and then we'll be in the village. It says here the castle of SANTORCAZ was a fortress in the style of those built by the warrior monks of the Order of Santiago de Fuentedeuena and Villa Averro, an average size enclosure that, besides being used for residence of the Lord of the Palace, the Archbishop of Toledo, during his sporadic visits, it's housed various leaders, including the parish church and warehouses for storing items that the vassals paid the king as tithed. And it goes on. But basically, this old castle is totally historic. Best reason ever to visit this lovely town. SANTORCAZ itself is kind of a sleepy place. I think there's a grocery store that might be open sometimes, like a little mom and pop shop. And there's a cafe that's open usually in the afternoons. It doesn't do a lot of business. To be honest, I've never seen a tour bus here. And where I live in Alcalá, they're all over the place. Years ago, there was a TV show, just before, I think my wife would be, Chronicles de un Pueblo, stories of the village, and it was a TV show that was made here. Sort of put the place on the map. Right below here is the SANTORCAZ bull ring, bleachers and such, and I would imagine they occasionally do other things with this. Bullfighting in Spain is still a thing. Some people find it rather hideous and archaic, and of course there are others who cling to it because of its tradition. I don't see any storks. Plenty of... Well, that'll do it for now. It's off to the lavender fields.